Hey, I'd like to share with you my maps of the blockchain technology revolution. Basically, I've read some books, I've made some major maps, and some summaries. Here we have blockchain technical information, and then we go into other things such as the deeper aspects of the revolution, foundations in the psychology of it, and so on. But I want to show you today how mapping it helps understand it in a more complex way all at once, perhaps. If we go this direction from here to here, we begin to see how if I begin talking about something here, it's related to something that shows up again at the end, and how things are interrelated with each other. So basically the blockchain revolution is a scientific solution which can enable thriving for anyone who chooses to educate themselves in psychology and technology, anyone with in particular with a cell phone and the internet, and in order to practice a sustainable lifestyle. And here we have something that's central in my attunement to the directions. We have the values, and one has to have a need, basically, to co-create and collaborate on the sourcing and the founding of blockchain technologies, the computer science behind it. It's important to understand the psychology and the technology. Basically, privacy, openness, transparency, security, value. Our human needs and relationships are evolving, and this work is a kind of arising in consciousness. It enables certain new technologies, personal mobile devices, internet, computational processing, is gradering, conditions for new energy technologies are emerging, and so on. We have this computer science field, decentralized public ledgers, networks, mesh topology, distributed systems. These enable the flow of data and value to go distributed. It's the first time in history where basically networks built by people, by volunteers, are collaborating to solve global situations. It's creating a kind of people's democratized prosperity platform, movement of value, shareables, new organization of society. So basically, if people choose to educate themselves on type psychology and technology, something new is available. And how it happens, this is the kind of flow of how it happens here. You have the psychology and the needs, the changes in people themselves, which create a kind of sphere of technological innovation. It's important to understand what a computer is, a program, and a network. So, nodes of computers, the protocols they use, in fact, what data is, so the content, the information, the value, the data links, the transceivers, and how computing power is important to miners, for example. And inside a computer you have literally an inner realm, so programs, the blockchain code, which actually really stems from the psychology of people trying to understand intelligence in the world around us, and interconnectivity. I call it artificial stupidity as opposed to artificial intelligence here, because it's really the fuzzy logic and the emergence and the learning and the evolvability which is the power behind so-called decision making and smart contracts, autonomous agents, and decentralized autonomous organizations. It's really a revolution from the inside of the machines that's happening. I also propose a call to decentralize the physical infrastructure also. That's another aspect of the fact that all these projects can actually be stopped if the power grid is turned off or if the internet is shut down, which people say it can't be, but it can be. And so there's also a calling to learn how to build one's own physical infrastructure and energy technologies. Now the scientific breakthrough there, I have a little yellow note here, it's really random numbers are destroying the old world order of human affairs, and this can be explained in the following. You have the computer blockchain programs, and the network is, the transactions in it are run by different types of consensus consensi. As an economic set, you can use a proof of work, which is computational power, which is augmenting all the time. So the most powerful specialized computers on the planet are currently involved in the Bitcoin blockchain, for example, in guessing random numbers. And that is what keeps the network alive and Bitcoin running. It's computers successfully agreeing on guessed random numbers. And so this, with this yellow line here, is connected to how a new organization of society is being enabled by these computer science breakthroughs, which were initially instigated by the needs of people. For example, I have a need because of my lifestyle and what I've been through in terms of the financial realm and the system operating on the planet today, but understandably there are many people who do not have a need and live very well and have no idea what this is all about or what they might need it for. It's understandable. However, random numbers are currently disrupting the old order of human affairs. Now, if people choose to educate themselves on psychology and technology, they can actually enable themselves to use these new revolutionary connections with technology, because anything shareable can now be run as a business. The micro-monetization in new business models allows for it. So where all this is heading, the different consensi in the networks, different blockchains, for example, they enable the solution to double spending. Now the code is so trustworthy, in other words, that it can be used for a cryptocurrency, but it can be used for crypto identity, for anything. Here we see that blockchain is really a technology, a commodity, a currency, and many other things. Now, there's no need for trust in transactions anymore, which in simple terms, it means you don't need a bank account, birth certificate, or address to take part in what is being called as the Internet of Things, where basically code lives inside of these scientific breakthroughs and enables you to have devices in which you can monetize anything that can be digitized, basically. These new relations between humanity and technology can allow for an ecologically sustainable life on the planet. More soon.